So I'm Sarah Hymas, and I am 1/3 of Skear Zines, along with Mish Green and Maya Chowdhury. And we've worked with each other over many years on various different projects, and we've come together for a love of the written word, for the sort of the written word in an artistic and more physical, tactile sense, and to promote voices of those who are sidelined. Skear Zines was born in the shadow of the UK 2019 elections, and our sort of mission statement, I think our fundamental mission statement, is to promote and share and celebrate voices of those who are often kept out of the dialogue that affect all of us. And of course, you know, the COP26, which we kind of aligned this this sort of trio of zines to, was very much the sort of central negotiations were generally between governments, companies, and lobbyists. And while there were thousands of other people there, artists and other people in the streets, while their energy might have got through into the negotiating rooms, their voices maybe less so. And I think it is something to be said, though, that the occurrence of the fringe events and the presence of the activists at this COP26 this year was reportedly stronger than it has ever been at previous ones. So to me, that suggests a testament of to our voices and to be heard. These three zines highlight writing and voices that are interested in making connections across seemingly disparate fields, time frames, and ecologies. And I think together as a triptych, if you like, they really kind of form a very interesting jigsaw that faces the difficulty that we have in comprehending our state in the world, and having to deal with what we're listening to from our governments and our leaders, while they make pledges that aren't binding for them, and even apparently even the pledges that were made in COP26, according to the climate tracker, mean that we are still on track for a 2 to 2.4 degree increase in global temperature. And as was said at the end of COP26, the pulse of 1.5 is very, very faint. So while we can't, we haven't got the power to make pledges, promises, change law, I think what poetry and art more generally can do is offer a polyphonic chorus to encourage a change in consciousness that then might go on to change the ideology that has fueled the climate change and the state that we're in. And I think, as I said, I think these voices are crucial to the negotiators to sort of like to make evident our presence and our thinking. So I think what does unite these zines as well is this care for the world. So this attention to the world in which we live, whether it's its ecologies, its water systems, and its culture, that kind of bring these three together. So just briefly, Martin de Mello's In Your Own Words plays with the idea of reuse and rethinking what perhaps were once considered cultural norms. Hopefully he'll talk a little more about where he found much of the texts that comprise of the pieces. And certainly I found them sort of provoking my own sense of uncertainty, which then, you know, those questions lead to new insights. I think Versa Ray's Homo Arboreus, in its celebration of the sort of woodland culture, both what is visible, what on the ground, what is in the air as birds, and what is underground and unseen. Well, it sort of feels to me, it feels very timely in terms of apparently 120 countries, leaders from 120 countries at COP26 have pledged to halt and reverse deforestation. So, well, we'll see whether that actually happens, but I think Versus zine certainly explores the importance of woodland ecology, woodland culture. And one of the other outcomes from this COP26, or realizations, I should say, rather than an outcome, is the acknowledgement for the need for an increase in marine protected areas globally. And I think Jayant Kashyap's Water has obviously by its title, has an absolute focus on how water is both used and misused, and its sort of centrality to our lives. So yeah, so I do feel like all these zines do speak to the COP that we've just had, and hopefully will encourage you to sort of consider thinking what has come out of those negotiations and what you feel important.